Welcome to the new setup. You picked we picked a winner to be talking about on this one. For your first, well, actually not the first time in here that we've recorded in here. Just the first time since I just stuck this in the background and got some different chairs. So I'm Brad Jones, here with Geno Reynolds, and as you can see by the little thing down there, we are doing a we do have some of our autographed DVDs that are still on sale over on our eBay page, and it's eBay, and our name on there is under Stone Gremlin Productions. We've been selling off a lot of different things just to kind of help us out with some post-production costs that we got going on now for another Cinema Snob movie. And we still have a handful of those autographed DVDs left from our 3 DVD exclusive episodes, the uncut and uncensored ones, plus Lloyd the Animated Series, and the first Cinema Snob movie is also on there as well. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. We just got one movie for you today. This movie comes out in a couple of weeks. It is an early screening that we had for Secret Life of Pets 2. But before we get into that, please subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. Also follow us on Twitter as well at The Cinema Snob. You can find us at Facebook too under The Cinema Snob. And where can we find you, your channel at?
You can find me at The Real Geno. That's REELGENO, as you can see on that screen. And contrary to the popular rumors, I am not dead. I've been out of it for a bit. I had to go to the hospital about 3 weeks or so ago, so I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. But subscribe to the channel, and I should be getting back to it very shortly.
Very cool. Oh, yeah, you got to get your thoughts on like Aladdin and Brightburn as well,
yeah, there's a few I got. Yeah. I got opinions on both of those that I'm going to be getting out there soon, probably sometime this week.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and if you want to see our show from a couple of days ago where we reviewed Aladdin and Brightburn, Laura and I did, plus the John Travolta movie, The Poison Rose. We had all 3 of those that we got posted up on Friday. Plus, we also have our review for the weekend's other new movie, which we had an early review a couple weeks ago, which is the Olivia Wilde comedy Booksmart. So give that a watch as well, and let's go ahead and take a look at a clip here from Secret Life of Pets 2, and we'll be back after the review. Or, sorry, after the clip.
Snowball! What are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing? I'm doing superhero stuff. Tip, 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 tip.
Now, when we went to go see this movie, we were talking because we didn't see the first one together. We saw the first one, we just didn't watch it together, and we didn't review it together as well. So we were reminiscing a little bit about the first Secret Life of Pets from 2-3 years ago, whenever it was that came out. What I remembered most about that, other than the movie just being a knockoff of Toy Story, was that it was a movie that I was going into not looking forward to in the least, and even somewhat annoyed going into it, like the case with some Illumination movies where the advertisements for it were just a giant in-your-face bombardment. Not just simply that there were trailers for the biggest offenders of this, Sing and the first Secret Life of Pets. Not even so much that there were just trailers in front of every movie, which there were, but sometimes there would be multiple trailers for it in front of just a single movie. And it was all over the movie theater. Like, it was practically like AMC Theater sponsored by Illumination. Yeah. There would be a poster for another movie, but each poster would have a giant, like, Sing or Secret Life of Pets slip to it. It was just everywhere in the theater. So, going into this movie, I remember thinking, like, someone needs to teach them a little something about hubris. Like, so, going into the first one, I'm like, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm tired of all this Secret Life of Pets and Sing stuff thrown in my face. But, like a majority of Illumination movies, after seeing Secret Life of Pets, it's like, okay, well, this is just a mediocre movie, which is what a high majority of their movies are. Pretty like, much, at best, you'll probably get something that's just in one ear, out the other. It's very well done animation in a lot of their movies. Of course. But just these plots and characters that are very obvious, made by committee plots and characters and jokes and soundtracks throughout a lot of them. Now, going into Secret Life of Pets 2, it didn't feel like I was hit with as much advertisements
Not
for
at
this
all.
movie as some of their other movies, but they're certainly going off of the first one being the huge success that it was, because it was a really big hit, and it feels like it's maybe a couple of years since the first one came out. I think it doesn't seem like it's really been that long.
Yeah, the only advertisements I saw for this one, they did the occasional like character commercial.
Yeah.
You would have, here's the one about Max, and here's the
Yeah.
one about whatever the bunny's name is, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You know, and then they did one for the cat. And there was a couple others, I can't remember what they were, but there was maybe like 3 or 4 or 5. And it's just like, here's a character. You want to see the next character commercial? Go to our website.
Yeah.
That's all I really saw for this one until maybe a couple weeks ago, where I finally saw a real trailer for it.
I saw a lot. I did see a lot of trailers for it, but nothing out of the ordinary from however many times I would see a trailer for a kids movie like this, especially a big one coming out this summer. It felt like it was about the regular amounts of advertisements I was getting for it. The most annoying thing going in the movie was the audience that we saw it with. Now, we had an early screening for this. It was an early access Fandango screening. So, okay. We were in not the biggest theater in the AMC that we saw it at. It was one of the smaller ones, so it was us and a lot of kids and their parents crammed into this fairly small theater. That's fine. I understand that. That's happening. There's a lot of big things out right now, between Endgame still out, John Wick, and Aladdin being out this weekend. So it's like, okay, I get that we're in this theater right here. It's not like it got to the point to where it was standing room only. But for about 45 minutes of this movie, I couldn't tell if we were just in kind of a cheap theater or if they just simply forgot to turn one of the lights
They
off.
forgot to turn the lights off, and that happens not all the time at this theater. They do a pretty good job at this theater. It's the theater I go to probably the most in Decatur, or technically Forsyth, I guess. But I mean, in a busy weekend like that, where you have a lot of big movies in there, they're gonna forget something. And yeah, they had forgot to turn off one of the cleaning lights.
It was
And
showing.
it kept the whole room bright.
It was nice and bright, just right in my face. I'm like, well, maybe they don't want the kids to get too scared. I don't know. Like, maybe they want them to stay awake, as opposed to, like, having nap time during Secret Life of Pets 2. But the actual audio of the movie was set quieter than what it would normally be. And because of that, all the talking and commotion in this screening, and there was a lot, because there was a lot of kids in there making a lot of noise, a grandparent sitting right in front of me being just as restless, looking around for crap as the kid who was sitting next to her. There was a couple of babies crying in this thing. It was loud. It was like watching a movie just in the middle of a daycare center. And because the movie was quieter than it usually is, it made that all the commotion and everything in this theater even louder. It made it even louder than what it would normally be. And I was already tired watching this movie. Between this kindergarten cop going on all around me, like, well, that was keeping me awake, I guess.
It reminded me of what I avoided when I went to go see Zootopia. I went to a theater called the Avon, and they have a balcony, but it's closed.
Yeah.
But there were so many kids there for Zootopia. It's a big theater at the bottom, and then the balcony's not huge, but it's pretty big. They told me they go up to the balcony so you can actually hear the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do that. And thank God I did, because I would not, because I could still hear them downstairs.
Yeah.
but it was all down there. You know,
This was I think the most annoying screening I'd been at since Sing. Not of all time, but like since Sing.
Well, you're
probably.
welcome.
Like, oh yeah, we were both at Sing, another Illumination movie, another advanced screening that we got. At least in this case, there wasn't a kid kicking my seat like in Sing. No, I couldn't go up to the balcony like you did. So I mean, it would have been funny if someone came down and was like, "Yeah, if you want to just go upstairs to where the projector is and watch it up there, go ahead, man."
you can watch it on the computer screen that's running it.
Yeah. Oh, and like we usually do, we'll be answering the super chat questions and reading super chat comments once we're done with the review. So if you want to get those in, go for it. We'll read those and answer those when we get done with the review here. Now, when this movie, when it started, for the first 5 or so minutes of it, I was thinking, because I didn't necessarily know what the plot was going to be going into this movie. Now, when it started out, I was starting to be a little okay with it, like, because I was picturing it going one place, because we start out where it does throw a lot of exposition at you pretty early, like what's been going on between the movies, where Max's owner has, she now has a husband, they have a baby, and so you then see this sequence where Max is adjusting to life in the house with a baby in it, and it's almost a story of like fatherhood and new parenthood from the point of view of a dog, and a dog looking at the baby as like his son, and how they start bonding from the kid being just a baby to then a little bit older, like he's about to start school in the movie, and how their relationship has kind of grown. That's maybe about the first 5 minutes of the movie. And at first I was thinking like, oh, well, maybe that's the direction we're going here with the plot. That's, you know, it's different than what the first movie is doing, and it's not simply just doing Toy Story 2, which I was kind of afraid of going in. The first one was just mediocre Toy Story. This, I was like, is that going to be the case here with Toy Story 2? No, if you want like a mediocre, not mediocre, if you want a really, really bad like Toy Story ripoff, you go, Ugly Dolls is probably still playing in some theaters right now. And they would also throw in things where like little things here and there where if you do have pets, if you have whether it's a dog or a cat, they'll throw in a little thing every now and then that can make you to relate to a certain situation that's going on, like the cat with the hairball right here, a gag they have later on with a laser pointer. They did sequences like that in the first one, and they do here a little bit as well. Now, with the first one, I went into it thinking like, I'm really not going to like this. This has annoyed me so far, and came out of it not liking it, but at least like, well, that was just kind of forgettable. Now this, I really kind of went into this not really guessing how I'd feel about it or predicting how I'd feel about it one way or another, but this does remind me of when we had like a 2 or 3 week advanced screening of that Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie, where we sat there and I said that, congratulations, I am here like 2 some weeks early to tell you about this colossal piece of shit that I just saw. Because this is, I have said that like there's maybe been 1 or 2 Illumination movies that I was like kind of fine with. The rest I mostly found mediocre. This one I have straight up found the worst. This is kind of what I feared, how bad I feared the first movie was gonna be. Oh, yeah, they were like, oh, were you surprised that you didn't hate the first one? Congratulations. Here's Secret Life of Pets 2. It has come true. Everything you thought would suck and be terrible and be just total cynical crap. Here you go, right now. Full theater prices. Go for it. Here's Secret Life of Pets 2.
You know, I don't know if I'd call it the worst.
The worst Illumination movie?
Worst Illumination. I would probably still put like Minions under it. Probably Despicable Me 3 under it. Even though Despicable Me 3, I kind of like the villain. Not the
Yeah.
not the brother, but the
No,
the
I
other
know who you
villain.
mean. Trey Parker.
The
There
brother,
was
the brother was they had some things to enjoy.
yeah.
This one, there were parts that I didn't think were that bad. If the story would have just focused, and I know we'll talk focus. If it just focused on Max's story,
Yeah.
it probably would have been fine.
Uh-huh.
But of course, and I'll let you intro it whenever you're ready.
Uh-huh.
There isn't one story here. There
No.
isn't two stories here, but there's three.
There's a story about Max with his getting to know the kid a little bit, but even that feels like they introduce the character of the owner's husband, even though he barely has anything to do with anything that's going on in the movie. Same with the kid. You could do a lot of the plot line with Max, even without. It's not wildly necessary to the involvement that there's now a kid in this equation, because a lot of his plot line is him and Eric Stonestreet, the big dog who barely has anything to do with this. They go out. They're city dogs, and they go out to the country, and they decided to go. This plot line isn't really even a remake of any previous animated movie. This is more like City Slickers.
In a way, yeah, you could say City Slickers, or they could be taking from another Pixar movie. It's kind of like Cars.
Oh, sure, okay.
In a way, it's
Yeah.
kind of. It's not like he is disgraced and is in this place, but he's got a lot to learn about the world in this kind of place from from a mentor type character.
An old dog named Rooster, played by Harrison Ford, who for the first half hour I actually thought was Dennis Quaid.
I did too.
Thank you. So I'm not crazy. Like, okay, like I see, and maybe it's just because I saw A Dog's Journey. I was like, is this like a trilogy? He's crazy. He's crazy in The Intruder, and then we see in Dog's Journey his craziness started with him thinking his dog is reincarnated, and then he himself gets reincarnated into a dog in this movie. But no, it's actually Harrison Ford. It wasn't till he was doing some yelling on a canyon like, "Get the sheep in the bush!" That was when I was like, wait, I think this is Harrison Ford. Yeah. And I had to double check my phone. I'm like, oh, okay. It's, all right. Well, they wasted Harrison Ford in this, on this character who I've seen this done in... If this were a live action movie, this character would be Sam Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've seen this before, where it's like, the city character comes in and
you had a Pixar character like that with Sam Elliott
Exactly.
in that dinosaurs movie.
yeah. Didn't he also do something like that in Rock Dog?
Oh God. I try not to remember that.
Right. So that's this plot line. Like, country dog teaches city dog to like grow a pair. But that's not even the rest of the movie. You have another storyline here with Kevin Hart as the superhero rabbit, who Tiffany Haddish's dog character comes up to him and says, "Hey, I was on an airplane and there is this crazy Vegas magician who has kidnapped this white tiger. You're a superhero. You should go help free this white tiger from
evil Mick Evilson."
Yeah, from the evil magician Vegas guy. So that's what's going on there. But then even meanwhile, there's Max puts this dog here in charge of his favorite squeak toy. The squeak toy goes lost, and it ends up in a crazy cat lady apartment in which she then has to pretend to be a cat and infiltrate the cats and learn from Chloe, the big cat there on the left, how to properly be a cat. So that's 3 plot lines that you have going on in this movie. And honestly, the reason why I'm saying that this is the worst, more so that because it does fall into a trap that I've seen with bad animated movie sequels, where it's like, these characters were all popular in the other one, so we have to give them all their own storyline,
Right.
even if it doesn't mesh well together. Despicable Me 3 did that. Rio 2 did that. I've seen that crutch happen before in a lot of these movies. This is one of the biggest offenders of it, because while Minions certainly didn't get very good reviews, neither did Despicable Me 3, and even some other bad kids movies I've seen this year that aren't Illumination, but Ugly Dolls and Wonder Park. This I would put even below that.
Wow.
Because those movies, at least Minions, at least some of the other Bad Kids movies I've seen this year, at least they are movies.
They were a story.
Yeah.
A story.
At least clunky, yeah. But at least, yeah, they were clunky movies, clunky stories, but at least there was a beginning, middle, and end, certainly. It was a movie. This, in no way, shape, or form, feels like that. This feels like they pitched a Secret Life of Pets animated series to a studio, and it got rejected, so they cobbled it together in this movie. This is 3 episodic shorts strung together and disguised as a movie. Now, Disney sequels did that a lot. There was a lot of those Disney sequels where that's literally what they were, was a rejected series. They stuck them together, boom, put it on DVD, Atlantis 2. All right, you know what? At least that is technically what it was just 3 things put together. And it was dumped on video. All right. This is cobbled together like it's a movie.
Yeah.
This big budget summer animated movie. And you're getting ripped off by this film.
You get these 3 different stories, and they cram them. And I mean cram them. Literally car crash them together.
Yeah.
Near the end. Where everyone ends up helping everyone somehow because Max and them just got back to town, and the little dog that became a cat, she wanted to help, and so she brings all her new. I'm sorry, they're minions. The cats, they're minions. She brings them all into the battle, and they all have to go help. Whatever the bunny's name is, I can't. Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Which, by the way, when Night School popped on, I just kind of was tuning out because I mean I like Tiffany Haddish and I think but like when she works with Kevin Hart, you can tell they just let them ad lib the entire time.
Yeah.
And I just that was the worst part for me was the Kevin Hart stuff.
Well, the Kevin Hart. All of that could have happened regardless of the Kevin Hart character.
Yeah.
Like, he's this superhero rabbit, but he doesn't really do anything in a lot of these situations, and maybe that's supposed to be the joke, but it also, unfortunately, it's not funny enough and not well written enough to make me not realize that Tiffany Haddish didn't even have to seek this character out. She could have handled this tiger situation all on her own. And the way that these plots do link together is it barely does.
Again, they all live in the same building.
Yeah.
That's how they link together.
Yeah.
Because like all of a sudden, oh hey, there's the bad guy wolves next to the building. I guess we can all work together now. Let's get the crazy cat lady in her car.
Yeah. Right. At least this is it's no lighter than, or it's no heavier than that Heathcliff movie from the 80s that was just like some Heathcliff shorts put together, and Heathcliff sitting there like, well, nephew, let me read you the story. And here's what happened to me once. That's basically this. Like, God, I hated sitting through this movie.
It was a long set. It's an hour and a half, not even.
It's less. It's 86 minutes.
And I'm sitting there going, why is this so long? Why is this so long? I mean, look, I know I haven't been to too many movies lately.
Yeah.
But I sat through John Wick 3 and wanted more. I'm sitting, and it's over 2 hours. I'm sitting there going, please end.
Please
let this be the end. No, I'm not sitting through the credits. I'm sure there was a musical number. I don't care.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I felt like this was just, it is a waste of theater space. Like, you're an ass for putting this in theaters. Like, seriously, like, putting this out in theaters is a joke. Because this is, let alone giving it this early access screening.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's like I said, it falls into a trap that I've seen with some animated movies, but this is by far and away the biggest offender of it. This has no business being in theaters.
I'm not sure what I see. That I think it came out early. I wouldn't doubt if it was going to be opening up against something even bigger. There's got to be something bigger coming out. I looked earlier and I can't remember what it said, but I think it was a movie that more people are probably going to go see it that weekend.
Yeah.
That's why they released this early. And then, granted, that being said, they could have just, I mean, because then again, why open it up against Aladdin?
Unfortunately, like, Yeah, unfortunately, this is probably gonna do like crazy freaking well.
Yeah, probably.
Like anyone who just if you're that curious about this movie, I mean, watch it. I don't even recommend watching it at home because it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny at all. At least when Looney Tunes back in the 80s like repackaged a bunch of their old shorts, like Looney Bugs Bunny movie and Quackbusters and things like that. Like at least those, yeah, they're all. It's taken old Looney Tunes shorts and kind of doctoring this plot around all of them, but at least you're still watching some really funny Looney Tunes shorts. These, even if this were a show, 3 episodes of a show, there's really not that many laughs here. Yeah, it's more aggravating than it's packaged as this movie that you're seeing in theaters. And even other things about this movie, like, because it's not it's not Louis C.K. as the voice of Max the dog in this one. It's Patton Oswalt. But here's the thing, though. Like, they are they're both stand-up comedians, but they both have wildly different deliveries. They sound nothing alike. Not a single, like, it's not like Patton Oswalt is, like, changing his voice, really, or trying to make himself sound like Max the dog from the first one. No, he sounds like Patton Oswalt, and he has the personality of Patton Oswalt. So, because of that, it hardly feels like you're even watching the same character.
Yeah.
He has a wildly different personality in this one compared to what we saw in the first one. Like, but hey, they're both stand-up comedians, so surely it's the same. No, I couldn't stand this movie.
No, and I know, see, I won't take my kids to go see this in the theater. They might ask. They ain't going. We'll find something better. But, I mean, if it showed up on Netflix and my kids wanted to watch it, I just wouldn't be in the room.
Yeah,
but
you run up and slam the bedroom door.
I'll be like, kids, I'll be in there watching something else, anything else. I see my kids turned on the other one the other day, the first one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's still fine. Whatever. I mean, I liked it the first time I saw it. Okay enough. But then I had seen it again and I'm like, you start catching, the original viewing is a little different than when you watch it again. But this one, I don't even have any desire at all whatsoever. Because again, I thought if this would have been a TV series, say on Netflix or something, and the kids turned it on, I'd have been like, all right, that's fine if it's just showing episode by episode. But just crammed together, and then of course at the end it was all, hey, let's throw everything together and let's fight, like I said, the most generic bad guy ever.
Yeah, even repeating like it's a group of animals that are heavily controlling a vehicle. Which we've seen in other movies before, whether it was...
Heck, we saw it in the first one.
Did they do that in the first... They did. I know they did that in, like, Finding Dory.
I thought they did. I don't remember again. I didn't watch the whole thing again for a long time.
I thought there was something... Yeah, because there's...
Finding Dory did it.
Did one of the Nut Job movies do that?
Probably.
That seems like something a Nut Job movie would do. When Nut Job 2... is your more superior animated sequel. Because again, at least it had a plot. It had things going on in it. It had arcs. Yeah. It had, which I mean, well, I guess technically this movie does have some character arcs in it. It has several because it's a few episodes of a show put together. If anything decent could come out of this, it's like under better writing, I could see something working with the grizzled, grumpy Harrison Ford dog in the movie. Like, better writing could make something out of that, especially because you have Harrison Ford there doing the voice.
Yeah, but all he got to do was, here's your lines.
Yeah.
You're gonna teach him some lessons, okay?
What's that cone on your head?
I don't recommend
there, now
this.
you're cured.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have the poster with him, right? I want to. Can you bring up the poster that's just him?
That's a rooster.
No, that's just.
Oh,
Max.
I think I know what you're gonna say. I think I know.
The poster is a perfect allegory for this.
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
I knew I was. Yeah, I was thinking of that earlier. I was like, wow, the balls on this movie.
See, what was funny was, and when I say funny, it's just. I had funny thoughts, not that the movie was funny. But before the movie started, they were showing this you could have like there was some app or something or some website where you could put one of these signs.
Oh yeah.
And write your own message for your own dog.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know, maybe a Snapchat filter or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying that close attention, but and then they showed that, and I'm like, oh god, that's what this is going to be perfect for this movie. And sure enough, we're right. So yes, don't laugh.
It's like, well, it's not. I guess that's not false advertising about it.
See, when they showed the commercials for the first one, I know you probably saw them too many times.
Yeah, I did.
But at least the idea of showing pets doing weird things when their owner's away, if that were like a show, it might be entertaining, or a web series, or something like that. And even in this movie, when there were the things with Chloe with the hairball and things like that, it's like mildly amusing.
When the teaser, at least when the teaser for the first one came out, I was thinking like, oh, you could do something really cool with this. And then what they did was just remake Toy Story.
Yeah, let's throw everything and then get everyone together. And this one just, again, it crammed everyone together. And any bit of amusement that stuff like this brought, the 5 seconds of amusement. I mean, and I know Lloyd makes that noise.
Yeah.
The wow noise,
he's
right?
got his Meeser yowl, yeah.
And I knew you were kind of finding that amusing, and I was kind of finding that amusing because of it. But it's like 10 seconds of this movie.
A much better writer would have had Harrison Ford go,
prepare to meet a collie in hell.
Well, let's get to some... my final thought is don't watch. This was a terrible movie. Let's get to some super chat questions here. Thank you so much, everyone, for the contributions to the super chat. Eli Neiman, have you seen Hop? Because that was Illumination. I didn't realize that was Illumination. No, I didn't see Hop, actually.
I didn't either.
That came out before I was going to see, like, every mainstream movie that was coming out. And thank you, Gray Shot Productions, for the donation as well. Not Chuck Productions. Leaving for high school graduation, Brad. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Good luck. I hope the grades are there. No.
Yeah. It all gets better from here.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what your high school career was like. Mine was fine.
Mine sucked. It could only go up.
Mine went. I was an average student in high school, and my high school career was fine. Like I don't keep it. Unfortunately, the friends that I had that I went to school with, my classmates and we don't really only kind of see each other at the graduations, but I mean, me, Dave, who's also on the site, we hung out a lot in high school. We didn't go to the same high school together, but he and I have known each other since he was born. Now, when I went into college, I did a year and a half of college and dropped out because I instantly went into like the party scene. Like I was not interested in classes or grades or anything like that. I was interested in drinking and drugs and staying out really, really late. So I only did a year and a half of college, barely.
I got D's in high school, and then when I got into college, I'm getting A's and B's. And I tell you, switching where I'm at and the people around me, kind of helped.
Sure. Eli Neiman again. Thank you for the big donation there. Thank you. Thanks a million, man. That's really cool of you. Also, Wonder Park was originally directed by a former Pixar animator before he was fired for sexual problems and replaced by the guy who did Cow and Chicken, and yet Nickelodeon didn't think he or the other guy needed credit, hence why there was no director. Yeah, I can't remember if we talked about that in our Wonder Park episode. I knew that going in, that it didn't have any kind of credited director, and I think there's a lawsuit going on with that too. I haven't. It's a Wonder Park, so it's not like I've been really following the Wonder Park news since going to see it. But I knew that it didn't have a credited director, and I want to say the guy who was fired, I think he maybe worked on Toy Story 2 or. I can't remember. I knew when I saw the movie.
We talked about it on a live stream too, and I was like, I didn't know that. You know?
Right.
Because again, like you said, it's Wonder Park. Not much research needed.
Right. It's like I haven't kept up on my Wonder Park news. Wonder Park was bad. Like I didn't. have any kind of passionate hatred towards it. Not like Secret Life of Pets 2. But I thought it was just not very good. I probably liked it better than Ugly Dolls. But yeah, there's been a few bad kids movies this year. Chicago John, thank you again for the donation as well. Thanks a million. I'll have to shoot Chicago John a message later to see if he went to the DT event up in Toronto that's going on this weekend. So thanks a bunch, everyone. Thanks for watching us get this early review in for Secret Life of Pets 2 so we can wildly warn you when this movie comes out in a couple of weeks. So you want to mention your channel again?
Again, my channel is The Real Geno. That's REELGENO. I should be returning to it this week.
Very cool. And over on our end, shoot us a subscription at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. We'll be back next week with Godzilla King of the Monsters and Ma and Rocket Man, I believe, comes out next week as well. And so we'll probably have some reviews for you in the middle of the week as well. So we'll see you guys next weekend, and have a great week, everyone.